Good, there's Rich in the house. Hello. Let me readjust this here real quick. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Yeah, we got 6 on here. No thumbs up yet, but again, Rich is the first one on here. Hope you were doing well, sir. I might turn this light down. It seems a little bright. There's Navy Vet. How are you, sir? Hope you were doing well this evening. So we had some good news come out of Texas, with the voting, so we'll get into that in a minute. We'll wait till YouTube does the announcement, if they do. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I got a whole list of stuff here that I've had questions asked, and I have some information. So we will go over that. Cheers, everyone. Go Evan Williams this evening. My wife just got home. Dog's going crazy. Rich had 4 weeks today. Post knee replacement. PT kicking my butt. Yeah, I can imagine. Hello, Redbird. How are you? Hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, that PT's no fun, but please stay with it. It definitely helps. So I think I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kind of little things I wanted to talk about. And of course, if y'all have questions, throw them in there. We will definitely answer them. And I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Whew, this stuff's getting out of control. Getting crazy. What's up, Ranger? How are you, buddy? YouTube unsubscribed you? Oh my gosh, man. It is so bad. Dirt Truck says, everyone, yes, Big J, I need it so I can cross it off my want list. You need what? Yeah, that's what I brought it up on the chat. Do you need it? I've had a lot of newer, not just newer subscribers, but they're newer gun owners, getting into the hobby or, getting their LTC or carrying, and they're, asking some questions. So I've had, I don't know, I think 3 this week so far since Monday, I think. Maybe one of them was Sunday. So, I've just written some of them down. And I thought, we'd share them and stuff like that. But, and they're like, oh, which is the best gun to get? How many guns do I need? How much ammo should I have? Stuff like that. So I thought we would just kind of kick some of that stuff around. So we got 13 in here, three thumbs up. I know more will jump in. Hello, Nalderman. How are you, man? All right, it is 7:03. We'll go ahead and get cranking. Yeah, in Texas, we got rid of Crenshaw. The fake 2A guy. We got rid of Crockett, thank God. And we got rid of Al. I can't remember his last name, that guy with the ponytail that always causing a ruckus. So we got rid of all 3 of those. So that's good. I'm very glad about that. And then I'm not in San Antonio, but Brandon Herrera is going to go into a runoff. He was only 1 point ahead. He was leading, but just by 1 point. So they're going to, or 1 percentage. So they're going to do a runoff. I think that's like May 24th, I think. So, but I can't vote in that area. So any of the San Antonio people that are in his district, run out there and vote for Brandon. Get Tony out of there, man. That guy's, he's Al Green. That's it. Yeah. But Tony, man, that guy's, he's a piece of work. And I was just out there in that area and born and everything. So It'd be cool for Brandon to get that. Yeah, Crenshaw's horrible. Al Green, Crockett can go in the corner out. Yep. Yeah, Al Green. Oh my God. Every time that guy opened his mouth, I was like, what in the hell? And Crockett, of course, she's not from the ghetto. She went to nice schools and grew up in the suburbs and all that, and talking all that ghetto talk, thinking that's gonna get her somewhere, and she's an idiot. So, what's up, Adrian? How are you, man? But so I'm glad those three are gone. Uh, we got a new comptroller. Got some other people in. Paxton's going to be in a runoff too. I believe he's going to be in a runoff. I think I can't remember. But so, and again, Crenshaw, Crockett, and Al were not in my district anyway. But you know, and it was weird when I went and voted. I forgot to say this, but on the little iPad, when you're getting or asking, it says Democrat or Republican, and they're like little tiny on this iPad, and Democrats on the top and Republicans there, and they're literally like that close together. So if you're an older person, and you got the twitch, or even me, I've got a slight tremor. I mean, I was just like holding my hand, and I was like, hit it, and she's like, oh, it went through, and I was like, hang on, because it seemed like when I hit because the Democrat flashed for a second. I don't know if that was just something weird or what. And so I said, can you back up? And she goes, yeah, you can go back. So she went back, and she had to redo something. And then I was able to use the little stylist. They had a little pin there with a stylist on the end where I could really hit it. So that worked out good. What's up, Pranik? How are you? The new Turtello is just as bad. He believes there are 6 genders. He ain't got a chance. Yeah. Yeah, Paxton and Cornyn, that's it. Yeah, and Cornyn, no. That guy's been hanging around for a long time. He's a complete rhino. Paxton has got a little funny money, I'm sure, but man, Cornyn is a big time rhino. So I guess you have to pick or in my opinion, I'm not a political analyst or anything, but in my opinion, you've got to pick the best of the worst two evils, so to say. What's up, Armsman? How are you? Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I was not a fan of Crenshaw. And he's like, oh, I don't do insider trading. And they called him out on it. No, yeah, exactly. Pranik, yeah, Paxton's not great, but better. I hope he does. Because, man, I tell you, I actually met Cornyn at an event one time. And the guy just, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, like when I meet someone. But I don't know, just the way he shook a hand, and I don't know, it was real slimy. It just seemed, I don't know, it just wasn't very, like a manly handshake to me. And I was just like, I don't know. Even before I knew all the weird crap he was doing, I met him like forever ago. And I was just like, eh. Yes, yeah, you're right, Ranger. I mean, I've never been a Navy SEAL or anything like that, or the military, but I can just imagine. I've heard other SEALs talk about him. The amount of Crockett signage was crazy. Prospect Day, it was. It was everywhere, and I was like, who the hell's voting for that crazy chick? I'm like, that is insane. But I'm glad she's out. But let's go ahead and get into it. I took a customer to a restaurant today, and this is a restaurant that I really like and the customer liked. So I was like, hey, where do you want to go? I'm going to take you to lunch. And I said, do you want to go to this place? I'm not going to name the place. But I said, do you want to go to this place? And he's like, oh, yeah, I love that place. And I'm like, I do too. I haven't been in a little while. So we went. And usually, man, you walk in there, they're on Johnny on the spot, getting you your tea, getting everything for you. You pick, And I knew what I already wanted when I walked in the door. He knew what he already wanted because they have a limited selection. And we sat there at the table. They sat, like the waitress, or the hostess brings you to your table. We sat there. I mean, it took like forever to even ask for our drinks. And I'm just like, and I looked around. and I see other waitresses and people helping other tables, and one table got us after us, and their waitress is already helping them, and I'm just like, we sat there for like 12 or 13 minutes, literally, no drinks, no nothing, and I'm just like, that's not like this place. And I kept looking up there, and I saw like this group of girls, and they were, chatting and, with each other, the waitresses, I guess, and just chatting and laughing and, playing on their phones and everything. And then, I kept looking around, and I guess she saw me, which was our waitress, and then she comes over, hi, and I know her name, or I remember her name, but I'm not going to say it. And, how can I help y'all? And I'm like, oh, I'll have an unsweet tea. He wanted a sweet tea. Do y'all know what you want? Yes. So went ahead and ordered it. And then he needs a refill a little bit later. I'm looking around and I know who she is now. And I look up there, she's babbling with her friends, young girls. I get it, but I'm just like, man, service is just sucking now. And I noticed it when I went to San Antonio at some places too. And I understand it's hard to find good help everywhere and nobody, I guess, wants to work. But this place, usually gets good tips, or I would think they would. I wasn't like super high end or anything, but I'm just like, man, what the hell is happening now? And I just wondered if that's happening, if y'all are seeing that at places. It's like service is just sucking. And the bad thing is, I bought the lunch and everything, and of course, I'm with my customer, so I don't want to act like a butt or anything, so I never said anything. But I mean, it was just like we had to keep asking for refills, and it was just it was just not good. And it wasn't cheap for a lunch there. Um, and I was just like, man, is that happening everywhere? I did notice it a little bit in San Antonio. Um, Not as bad as this, but we also had some great service in San Antonio. And again, this place is usually not like that. And that's what kind of caught me off guard. And I saw the other waitresses, they were on the ball, they were taking care of their tables. But ours was very laxy-daisy, and she was very young. So I don't know if this is her first job, or she just doesn't give a shit. But the bad thing is, I still gave her a 20%. And I was like, did she deserve it? No. But, I'm still, I don't want to be the bad guy, but I'm just like, man, if I would have given her, cheaper than 20%, would that have been like, hey, I need to wake up and do my job better, or what, And I looked at her a couple times, and she was up there chatting with her friends, and then she'd look over at me, and she's like, oh crap, I'm caught. So I don't know. But are y'all having the same problem? Pranic says, yeah, service sucks in general, past several years. She wanted to keep your money, yeah. What's up, Pop Doc? How are you, man? Also, if y'all haven't checked out the Pop Doctor and subscribed to him, please go over and do that. I put up a post today. He is trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I think he was at like 950 something. So get him over that 1,000. Y'all go over and subscribe to him if you haven't already. I've got a post that has his link, and y'all can tap it, or I don't know if y'all can still tap names on here. I don't know if you can or not. I guess I could try it and see if it works. Yeah, I guess it's not letting me do it, so I don't know. Ranger said, had a guy sell me the Taurus GT4 Strike Force for 100 beans. It has a brace with the pistol that fits in a frame. Fun as heck to shoot. That's 100. That's cheap, man. That's really cheap. Ranger says, I haven't eaten out in years. Pop Doctor says, I learned more about good service working at Blockbuster for 10 years as a manager than I think I did during my professional training. The younger generation I'm training now doesn't know how to interact. They don't. I think they're so dependent on their phone. I mean, that's what I think. And I agree with you, Ranger. Don't reward incompetence. And I was agreeing with that. But also, I was paying in front of the customer, or in front of my customer. And if I cheapened it, and he happened to see. I just don't want him to think ill of me because he could have had a different opinion. I don't think he did because we were kind of on the same page. Um, but I don't know. I was just like, man, it just sucks. But anyway, that was one thing that happened. So I'll just mark these off real quick. They're not in any kind of order. Also, this is just a recommendation. If anybody, is doing YouTube or anybody is new to guns, and a lot of y'all people are, a lot of the family members on this chat are not. They probably have a lot of guns or very familiar with guns. But, I just really want to kind of throw this out there. And this is just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. But, just be real cautious about chasing that dragon. And what I mean with that is, just buying firearms to buy firearms or buy firearms to do reviews. I know a lot of people want to go on YouTube and see, hey, what's the review on the latest and greatest gun? I don't do that. I've had a lot of people go, hey, why haven't you bought this gun? Why haven't you bought this gun? I want to see what you think about it. If it's a gun that I know that I don't want or I'm not going to keep in the collection, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it, take a loss on it, dump it off. I've got plenty of guns. A bunch y'all haven't even seen. I've got too many guns, and I know that's weird to say. But, over the years, as long as I've been in this, I've bought guns and bought guns and bought guns. And some people look at it as kind of a adrenaline rush. Like, oh my God, I bought that new gun. I was able to find it. I bought that new gun. And have I been caught up in that in the past? Yeah, not because of YouTube, but even way before YouTube. Was I caught up in that? Yes. You can get caught up in that with accessories as well, not just guns. You can get caught up in that with tools, with cars, with, hot rods, whatever you're into, motorcycles, golf. But, is it going to make you instantly a better shooter? Is it going to improve your shooting? Now, if you're going from irons to a dot, I could see that benefit. But if it's, one plastic fantastic to another plastic fantastic, and unless it's for a size variance, like, hey, I really need a thinner, smaller gun, cool. But, just don't get caught up in the rigmarole. Somebody's like, buy this, it's the best, it's the latest and greatest. Just be wary of that. And the thing that I'm doing now, as I've gotten older, I'm being way, way, way more selective. I don't know, it's probably 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, even before the injury, I was like, I'm going to be way more selective of guns that I really, really want, that I've either shot, as a friend's and I really appreciated it or whatever, before I would buy it. I wouldn't just, run out and go, oh my God, it's the latest one, I got to get this. So that's just a piece of advice from an older, and I'm not the collector. Y'all have probably seen that guy on YouTube that's real wealthy and he's got 1 million guns and all that other stuff. That's not me. I'm not that guy. And even if I had that kind of money, I would have more watches. I would have more cars. I would still have, the guns I have now, maybe a couple more. Not that I could shoot them all. And I'm not telling people what to do. Do what you want to do. I'm just giving some advice. Do you need 500 guns? No. If you want 500 guns, please buy them. I'm not telling you what to do. But, if I could just share a piece of advice, because I did have a couple of subscribers ask, is this gun, I already have this gun, is this new gun or this new version better than what I have? And I'm like, it's lipstick on a pig. It's the same thing. However, if the grip fits your hand better, it could make you shoot better. And I said, how do you shoot the particular gun you have? Oh, I shoot it really good. And I'm like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I used to say that in golf. Back in the day when I did long drive, I had a head that was probably, I don't know, it was 3 years old, but I was sponsored, so I did have the new one. But for play, I would go with my older one, my 3-year-old one, and I could smack it. Well, anyway, I ended up having to go to the new one because I caved in, I crushed the face, the rebound effect broke. So I crushed the face on it. And I did have to go to the new one because they didn't make the old one anymore. You couldn't find them. So, um, just be wary. That's all I'm saying. Don't chase the dragon because it can bite you in the butt. Let me catch up here. Sorry, I got behind. Oh, Toys R Us and Radio Shack. Well, that's old school, Pranic. That's crazy, man. Orange has said it's about HTF as HTF. Stock up while you can. Yeah. I used to go into Radio Shack back in the day. It was never packed, but I used to go back. I used to go in there and buy some stuff. DB says, I've been thinning the collection for over the last couple of years. No more latest and greatest whiz bangs. That's a good idea. I mean, that's what I've been doing it, but I'm going to start doing it more. I'm really going to start thinning it out. Pop Doctor says, I started my channel because I didn't see enough real opinions anymore. Everything is paid for, promotional. My content is just personal experience from stuff I have bought. Good and bad. Yep. YouTube gun shields. Yeah. I mean, there's, I'm not saying everybody's a shill. I mean, but you can kind of tell on some channels when it's like they just open the box. I mean, they haven't done anything to it, tested it or anything, and they're just like, oh my God, you gotta buy this. I'm like, oh my God, please. Has Such ever given a bad review? No. I bet if he's not paid, he probably didn't even do a review. Yeah, and also, hell, he did a review on a scope one time and had it backwards. And he was shooting with it and saying how great it was. And I'm like, you've got the freaking scope on backwards. I'm not making this up. Y'all can go find the video. Just Google, I think it's Such backwards scope video or something. He did a whole review and the scope was backwards. Yeah, YouTube is mostly infomercials. Yep. Ranger says I'm still stocking up on ammo. Just couldn't pass on that Taurus. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad. Like I've always said, you're gonna need mags for ARs or whatever it might be, or pistols, and you're gonna need ammo. And supposedly ammo is going up. I don't know. I haven't really bought ammo in a long time, so I don't know. Look at this new SIG P320 safety third model. I don't think we need to talk about that. 320. DB says I see these guys with new 2011s every week, plus the dot, plus the light, easily $4,000 plus week after week. I've had cars that cost less. Imagine trying to keep up. That's what I'm saying. Don't keep up. Don't. I mean, I know a lot of my subscribers, probably don't do YouTube, but there is no reason. I mean, unless you're a collector or you just have tons of money and that's what you like. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm really not, if you're that person. But I mean, I'm just saying from years and years and years and years of, doing this, not YouTube, but gun deal, here's what's going to happen. It always does. Always. And I've got friends that y'all know that are perfect examples. They have a gun, they sell it. A new gun comes out, they buy it. 3 or 4 months down the road, the new gun's gone and the gun they sold is back. They went and bought another one. And when they sold it, they lost money on it and they already had the gun. There's no advancements in that gun. The particular person did it 3 or 4 times with the same makes of guns and models. And I'm not knocking them for that, but chasing that dragon, it's like a crack addict. I mean, you got to just be like, whoa, got to pump the brakes a little bit. So, let's see. Orange said I got some last week, pretty cheap. Gas, on the other hand, $3.70 by me. Why? Yeah, no, I know. Rich B says, I'm loading up on magazines before July 1st when our legislator bans high capacity magazines. That's a good idea. Yeah, Yankee Marshall, yep. Yep. And I don't know him, that he wasn't who I was talking about. But, you know, and, they buy guns, do reviews, and then sell them. Well, back in the day, they could do that and make money. Now, I'm just like, are you keeping all these budget guns? And I'm not knocking a budget gun if that's what you need or can afford or whatever else. It's just, I find myself, and I've got budget guns, I still have some, but I just find myself like not really shooting them that much. And when I say budget, okay, this is what's funny. This one person I was talking to, or asked me a question. He said, "What do you think is the best budget gun in your opinion?" And I said, "Polymer or steel, which one?" And he said, "Polymer." And I said, "I feel the best budget gun that I would depend on is a CZ P10C because it's, 500 beans, even for the new comped. I've seen it for that 499. So I said, I feel that's a great budget gun. And he was like, no, way under 500. And I'm like, he's like, oh, this Zatava, or started with a Z, Zatava, or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't have like any of the 250 models or, anything like that. I mean, not saying they don't work. It's just like, man, I keep thinking high point territory or, shit like that I wouldn't depend on. Or that if something broke, can you send it back and get it fixed? Does it have any kind of warranty? Is it reliable? There's just not a long enough track record on those, in my opinion. So I personally wouldn't, I would save up the money and or try to find a used one, before I just started buying all this budget stuff. And I know guys that have like 15 budget guns, and then they complain about, oh, I can't afford, like a 2011, or I can't afford CZ Shadow 2 or whatever. And I'm like, well, sell 10 of your freaking paperweights, that you're not shooting and you don't care about. And they're like, oh, yeah, or I won't spend more than $700 or $1,200 on a really good gun. And I'm like, but you have like 17 $500 guns. I mean, and they're all polymer. So, and especially if you're in a magazine restricted state. What's up, Chris? How are you, buddy? Yeah, we talked, I don't know when it was, last week maybe, I guess. I reached out to Chris and was asking him some plumbing questions. It's even less than that if you do your search. Yeah, nowadays Glock could be considered budget given the rising cost in general. Yeah, CZP10s are great. Yep. Yeah, Arms and saying P10C, RXM, PX9, ST9. Brennick says, I'm not interested in guns like that. A P10C would be a budget gun. And that's kind of where I'm going. I'm not knocking anybody, that has, $250 guns. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there that are decent. But, I would probably buy something a little more reputable that has a good track record than maybe like the new $300 Turkish gun that comes out that you know nothing about. There's just not enough track record there. DB says never got in the 2011 game, no interest. Yeah, they need to. Nope, I'm not saying people ever have to do that. I'm kind of old school though. I'm very old school. I really love 1911s. I always have. I'm an old soul. I mean, I'm an old guy. I can't say old soul. I just really enjoy the 1911 platform and always have. So, and I got a good hand, big old hand. So the 2011s do work for me quite well. I really enjoy them and I love them. But I have 4. Do I need a 5th? No. Am I going to buy any more? Probably not. I love the ones I have. I've got 2 staccatos and 2 MPAs, and they're perfect for what I'm going to do. Now, if, like Pop Doctor did, if I was going to buy like something for my 40th birthday or whatever, something like an anniversary or a staple piece, I think Nighthawk, Atlas, I think those are really good options. But in my opinion, with what I know and my ability, is it going to outshoot what I have now? Probably not for me. Um, but a statement piece, it's cool. But I've had the Les Bears at Browns, from the 1911s, not the 2011s. Um, I've been there and done that. So I'm like, do I need a $7,000 gun? No, I've already bought those. So, or back in the day. So, you know, just not me. Rich B says, how does the P10C compare to the P10F? Will it work for big hands? Yeah, the P10C works really well for me, but I use the +2 extensions because I do have big hands. P10F is awesome. I mean, I put my mute hooks on it. It goes all the way to the end. Most people on the P10F, they'll have this much left on the bottom, but mine pretty much goes to pretty close to the bottom. I think I have a little bit left, just a little bit. Glock 34, the grip is actually like, my pinky kind of hangs on a Glock 34 or Glock 17. But the P10F grip is longer because it holds more rounds. But P10C is, I think they're great guns. And the P10C and the P10F mag compatibility goes with the P07 and the P10 or the P09. If you wanted a striker fire and a hammer fire, you get both those guns, and you got the mag compatibility across the board with all of them, as long as they're same grip length. You following me? Ammo Alchemist says, well. Okay. Well, hello, how are you? Young Guns, taking a break, just saying hi, or we watch tomorrow. Hope everyone is doing okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, we got 20 in here and 12 thumbs up. CZ SP01 for me. Yeah, I had the SP01. I do prefer the Shadow 2 frame. I like the contouring and things better. But the SP01's a great gun. Fantastic gun. And the CZ75 mags are cheap. Yep, police trade-ins, yep. Let's see here. SP01 is like 900 cheeseburgers. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I had an SP01. Actually, I had two of them. I just prefer the Shadow 2 frame better for me and my hand size. And the ergonomics, I guess. Not that the SP01's bad. Not saying that. It's just a preference thing. Pop Doctor says you should try a 2011 DB. They do shoot better than your standard polymer guns. Nobody needs it, but everyone enjoys it. And that is true. I've let buddies of mine who are Glock, or polymer, and they shoot it and they're like, holy crap. And I'm like, yep, trigger's good to go. DB says I'm more in 1911s. And it's the same type. It's just a bigger grip. Yep, 2 world wars. That is true. Need a Nighthawk. Yeah, a Nighthawk. Ranger says I got my P211. It's a hell of a gun. My only 2011 so far. No, if it works for you, man, rock that sucker. Yeah, Atlases are good guns. Vulcan, yeah, the 11. Vulcan's done work for me on my STI. Yeah, Infinity's crazy. I have shot 2 Infinities. I have shot many Atlases. And I compared them to my MPAs, and I shot them the same. So, for me, it's not like I'm a professional shooter, never claimed to be. There was one gun that I shot, and it was X-Rings. It was a pistol. It was custom made. They do very, very limited runs. Had a carbon fiber wrapped barrel on a pistol. Trying to remember the name of that company. It's a guy that just makes like one at a time. Very expensive, very long waits, but that gun was pretty incredible. And it was not cheap, but he still has that gun, I believe. But yeah, I shot X-Rings personally, and I was like, holy shit, this is a nice gun. And I actually liked it better than the Infinity because I compared it to 2 Infinities at the exact same time. Now, I've got videos that were way back, but I cannot remember the name of that gun. But if you reach out to X-Ring, he'll tell you the name of the gun. I just can't remember it. Yeah, you know what's funny is I had somebody ask me, they were like, when did the 1911 come out? Nighthawk is my grail. No need to spend 5 grand though. Mental block. No, I get it. Can't get Infinities anymore with their drop model now. Just a bunch of scalpers, flippers. Yeah, I knew a guy that was on their list for what 3 years to get one and paid like money up front, and I'm like, yeah. He ended up getting his money back. He's like, this is crazy. Yeah, you're exactly right. Ammo. Yep. Yep. Friday PA. Yep. Let's see. Oh, I got a bunch more questions here. Because here's what's going to happen, and this happens to a lot of people I know that are in the gun world. So people who are new to guns. Okay, you'll start with this gun. You'll start with that gun. You'll start with this gun. I call it the wheel. I call it the wheel of gun life. Okay, so people will start here, and they'll get all these different guns, and then they come right back to where they started. So if they start with a Glock, it's like, oh, they buy the 2011s and all the budget guns and all these other guns, blah, 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 and hammer fired, striker fired, single action, blah, and they come back to Glock. And I'm not saying everybody does, but there's that wheel. So your opinions are going to change, your mindset, you're going to have all these different things that change throughout your life. Preferences, feel, all this other stuff, and your abilities. You're going to be like, I shoot this gun really, really great. So I don't need all those other guns or the cheaper guns or the budget guns. I like this gun. So your opinions are going to change. Your little circle is going to change. So keep that in mind too. If you buy a whole bunch of crap right off the bat, in 2 or 3 years, you might be down this other rabbit hole, so to say. So just be aware of that. 1911 came out 8 years before the M19. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Alaska Critter. I appreciate it. Pop Doctor says, DB, my Nighthawk is the best fit gun I own after 3,000 rounds. They have some awesome 1911 offerings that make 45 feel like 9. Yeah. No, they do make very nice guns. I've shot a bunch of Nighthawks. I've never owned one yet, but I've shot them. And see, Nighthawk today is kind of what Les Baer and Ed Brown used to be back in the day for 1911s. and But Ed Brown and Les Baer aren't like that now. I am ammo. I'm in north part of Texas. Stock Glocks work. Yep. Oh, okay. Alaska Critter says Springfield Armory 10 millimeter is my chest rig for Alaska brush. Yeah, no, that's good. And a lot of people in situations like that. I mean, we have people in Texas as big as a bear. Um, you know, I'm more of a capacity person, and of course, hits on target. We know how that works. But if I lived in that area or had big old moose running at me or crap like that or bears, yeah, I'd probably have a 10 millimeter. And back in the day, I used to have 10 millimeter. I had them in, was it 89, 90 through probably 95 or something. I had 10 millimeters, but you know, they're not new. They just made their little circle and now they're back. Navy Vet says, is it just me or am I the only one who sees a resemblance between, say, the CZ75BD and the Beretta 92S or 92FS? To me, I don't really see a resemblance between the Beretta and the CZ. I mean, I guess from a distance they kind of would. But the Beretta with the open barrel, I mean, that's just a dead giveaway. Every time I see one on a movie or a show or a series, I'm like, Beretta 92. Beretta. I mean, we can just call it out. I did see one in a show the other day, and it was a CZ75 Omega. And I was like, oh damn, because he was holding it sideways and I could see the trigger, and I was like, oh shit, that's a CZ75 Omega trigger. And I'm like, that's the first time I've ever seen an Omega in a movie. I forget the name of the movie, but I've seen CZ75s, but this was a CZ75 Omega, and I'm like, I had that gun. You don't have to outrun the bear, just your friend. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you got to have your running shoes on that day. Yeah, because I had a buddy who lived in Alaska, and he's like, man, I'd take the trash cans out, and you'd look over and you'd see like I don't know what they call them, a baby moose or a young moose. And he's like, he'd be like checking it out, and he turns around, and there's the mother, like 50 yards away, and he's like, oh shit, he's like running back in the house. I'm like, because he didn't have his pistol with him. I'm like, yeah, you probably don't want to get around that baby. Not really, Navy. Beretta's a dead giveaway. Yeah, every time I see that barrel, I'm like, Beretta, Beretta, Beretta. But again, from a distance, if it wasn't a silver barreled Beretta, I could probably see it from a distance. Open top slides, the Beretta is a vibe. Yeah, it is. I had two Berettas back in the day, but they weren't the Langdon setups. They were just kind of the old school ones. One was a trade-in that I bought because I got a smoking deal on it. I mean, a crazy deal. And the other one I already had. So, but I ended up selling both of them. Because there's one thing about the Beretta I do not like. And this is a me problem, not a anybody else problem. I hold the grip, and my hands are big, and that meat right there, every time I change the mags, it catches me right there, and it drives me crazy. And that's why I prefer the Shadow 2 as well, because it's a longer grip, so it didn't catch the meat. Because man, when you're going fast, it's like, ah, crap, it got me again. I had like blood blisters right there from slamming those mags into the Berettas. Because I slam mags in like people owe them, like they owe me money. Let's see here. But, yeah, chasing the dragon, tasting guns will change. Also, here's another thing. I get this all the time. I'll show a gun. It'll be laying there, and it's all Cerakote, because I have a bunch of my guns dressed up. Or, I like them the way I like them. And people are like, oh man, the Cerakote's worn at the muzzle. Or you have scratches on your gun. And I'm like, who gives a shit? I'm like, guns are a tool. Now, I like nice guns. But I'm like, if they get scratched, if they get little wear marks on them from being in a holster, I don't give two shits. I do not give two shits. Because my hand tools, okay? Snap on, all the high-end shit. I had dings, scratches, on the chrome Vandium. I mean, it's a freaking tool. I don't have any safe queens. Everything I have, I've shot. I have nice guns. A lot of people do. But I'm not like just set it up on a wall and never touch it, never look at it. I'm not that guy. And if you have guns like that and you're a collector, that's cool. I get it. And I have old guns that are worth some money. Am I going to take them out and beat the shit out of them? Am I going to take these nice guns and like chunk them in the air and bounce them off concrete? No, I'm not going to do that. But if they have normal wear and tear, I don't care. I really don't give a shit. But I have seen people literally lose their mind if they get a scratch on their gun, or if a holster, rubs it a little bit. I mean, you're in the wrong business if you're worried about something like that. You're just in the wrong business. So, if that's what you're worried about, don't buy high-end guns, because they're going to get scratched. They're going to get some wear on them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Scratches mean you use it, and that's exactly what I said on the Cerakote when it had the wear on the front of the nose. Oh my God, they didn't do this or they didn't do. I was like, no, they did everything right, dude. But I use my guns. I go in and out of the holster. I use them. I shoot them. I don't baby them. I don't even clean them that often. I lube them, but I don't detail scrub them. I shoot a bunch of dirty guns. I'm not the guy that comes back and cleans them. I used to be that guy way back in the day, man. I'd go shoot them, 200 rounds, come back, detail, not detail, but I would clean them up and then put them in the safe. Nah, not now. I hadn't been doing that for probably 15 years, 10 or 15 years, something like that, or 8 years. Um, I just, lube them up before I go shoot them, and some of them are dirty as shit because I want to see if they're going to run. Now, my defensive guns, that I have a drawer or deal set up just for the defensive ones, and, I do keep those a little cleaner, but yes, I'll be the guy that pulls out my gun at the range and shoots my defensive gun, load it back up, stick it back in there, and then walk out the door with it. And some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you shot your carry gun. I'm like, are you serious? You're at the freaking range. Run a mag or two through it. Make sure you're good to go. So I don't get that. But again, people can do what they want to do. I'm not your daddy. So let's see here. It gets back up. Pop Doctor says, have the LTT Elite, and I have upgraded over time. Now sports a dot and a ported barrel. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I've shot the LTT. They're super nice with the RDO cut. That's the good way. I don't like that Beretta where it's freaking high as a mountain. I don't like that. But the LTT rodeo cut, RDO cut, that's legit. And their trigger, I mean, they're nice guns. They're super nice guns. They're just not, they don't fit me very good. Yep, some lose it over a scratch. Yep. My CZ is pretty tough. I use it a lot, 3 times a week, and it barely gets scratched. Yeah. The scratch people are the people that don't use things, don't put stuff in the bed of a truck. Yeah. Like I said, you look at my tools, other than the new ones, but you look at my tools, they're heavily used. And a gun is a tool. That's the way I look at it. Pop Doctor says, Pranic, I like the ergos on my CZ better than my 92 as well. Yeah. I mean, CZ, man, they got the ergonomics down. They do a great job at it. Marza said, now I did stop carrying my Shadow 2 compact after I scratched it. I scratched the crap out of it. Yeah, I mean, I've got scratches on mine. They're not like deep scratches, but I've got little holster scratches and stuff. I don't care. What is up, Scott? How are you, buddy? But yeah, so guns are tools. Shoot them, use them, whatever. Also, I thought this was actually a good question, so I wrote it down. A subscriber asked me, he said, he said, well, I copied it exactly. Have you wasted money on a lot of dumb shit over the years? That's how he said it. Have you wasted, a lot of money on dumb shit over the years? Yeah, I have. Whiz bang. Oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread. And again, I don't agree with everybody. I've even had buddies, oh my God, you got to try this. You got to try this. And they don't live super close to me so I could try it. And then at the range, they didn't have it where I could rent it and use it. And some of my friends didn't have it. So I was like, okay, I'll buy that one. I shot it and I'm like, man, this does not work for me. And I put my hands on it prior to buying it. I'm like, yeah, it feels okay. Trigger feels okay. And then I went and shot it. I'm just like, man, I just can't gel with this particular firearm. Not everybody's going to gel with everything. Okay. And I've bought, accessories, and I'm like, this is the stupidest accessory I've ever bought. This is stupid. Why did I buy this? So we all have it. A lot of it I give away because I'm just like, not guns, but I meant, like knick-knack shit. That's what I call it, knick-knack shit. I give it away, and I've still got more shit, and I'm not saying it's worthless, but I still have a lot of more shit that I'm going to be giving away to y'all and stuff. I just got to dig it all out. So it's going to be coming. I know I've said that, but we're about to put a big box here and start loading shit in it. And I'll be like, who wants this? And the first person to say, yeah, I want that, give me, email me your address and you'll get it. That shit's about to start happening, and I'm not even joking around. So yes, I bought a bunch of dumb shit over the years, and if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have bought it. But that's what I'm saying. Don't fall into the hype. Don't chase the dragon. I'm just telling you. And again, this is not just for guns. This is for golf equipment, for cars, for accessories, for you name it, it involves it. Watches, jewelry, hats. I mean, I got 9,000 hats. And granted, I like Texas Gun Experience. But, clothes, boots, dress shoes. I mean, I have a dress shoe collection. As a matter of fact, I just gave away, because I don't wear them anymore, but they're really nice. I just gave away like 10 pair of dress shoes to a buddy of mine that wears the same size, so he was the lucky contestant. Oh, and I gave him a pair of boots too that I just didn't like. So, but he's the only one that I know locally that wears the size I wear. So, some of them were Johnston Murphys. I mean, they were nice stuff, but I'm just trying to clean everything out and get rid of it. I'm just tired of that shit being here. That's why I'm single for life. Yeah, no, I get it. A waste man and a dumb shit. It's called two wives. Yeah. Well, I mean, I only have one. I love her to death. Armsman says, I sure have. I've got bins of gun crap I forgot I had. Shake my head if I'm not using it. I really don't need it. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. I open up safes, and when I really start digging through stuff and pulling stuff out, I'm like, shit, I didn't even know I had that. I'm like, I hadn't shot that gun or that rifle in 10 years. What the fuck or excuse my language, but what the hell do I have it for? Do you keep making the same mistakes over and over? It's the real question, yeah. Well, I'm not now. But yes, personal growth, yeah. I always like to talk about, like-minded people too, because we all kind of get it. But I'm not saying I'm going for a total minimalistic factor. I'm not saying that. But I'm like, man, I've got stuff I haven't touched. Literally touched. I looked at a pistol the other day that I have. I have not shot that, and it has a new dot on it. I haven't even tested that dot. The company sent it to me, and I was like, oh, I'll test it, and everything. I haven't tested it, and I feel bad about it because that was like freaking 2 years ago. Now I looked at the dot and I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool, but I got to beat on it and test it and, all that other stuff. So I just stuck it on the gun to see what it looked like, if I even liked the look of it, and it looks pretty cool. But, I just need to, especially I'm getting older, it's like, and I think I talked about this, but, when I had that injury, I was like, man, if I crashed and burned, she would have to deal with all this shit, all of it. And she knows what to do with it, or who to call to have them help her with it. I've got friends that YouTube friends and stuff that I've given her numbers. They've got the numbers for emergency only. One of them's local, so she would call him and be like, hey, we got all this stuff. Can you help me deal with it? And these people know about that. So, but I'm just like, man, I want to start cleaning stuff out. Kind of tired of messing with it. Somebody was asking me something. Where did it go? Pop Doctor said, set a budget. I did that for watches and guns this year, and that's awesome. And I would highly recommend that. Just set a budget. I'm not spending more than that per month or whatever, and stick to it. I mean, that's a great thing. I think a lot more people should do that. Because I was the type where I always keep a certain amount of cash on me. And if I'm somewhere and I find something and it's under that amount and it's like a sporadic thing, I'll just buy it. Not charging it, but just buy it outright. And it's enough to buy a P10C. So, but anything over that, I'm like, let me think about it, And even when I'm there, I might be like, okay, I need to maybe do a little research or something because it just catches my eye. But now I'm looking at even those and I'm like, nah, I don't need it. It's not going to change the world. So don't need it. definitely thinking a lot more minimalistic now. Scott says you see the U.S. Navy got its first warship sinking by submarine since World War II. I did not, Scott. I'm sorry, I haven't kept up with it. I did not. I need to check on that. Hey, Ranger, Armsman and I were wondering about this. What about the Indiana P320 guys, patrol guys? Have you heard anything, any comments from them about now they're stuck with the P320? I'm just curious. Armsman and I were going to remind you to tell us about that if you have. And here's the way I'm looking at it now as I'm getting older, and I've got my granddaughter just now, you know, hopefully I have a grandson too. But, you know, I'm kind of looking at, like, the way I'm looking at my collection now is it worth passing down? And should I just get rid of it now because it's not going to be anything worth passing down? So those are some things that I'm thinking about now. Not that I'm going anywhere, but these are some things I'm thinking about now. Like, yes, I would pass this down, but not that. And if it's not that and I haven't shot it, it's soon going to find a home. They're getting rid of them, at least in my area. Yeah, because I thought it, oh, Pop Doctor, are you in Indiana? Because SIG got a contract. They call it the Aloha Snack Bar P320 now. Big J, what about the Instagram post? Which Instagram post? Which part? We've talked about a bunch of Instagram posts. Remember, I don't have Instagram personally. So you got to remind me, refresh my memory. I don't even know what color underwear I have on today, so. Oh, I'm not wearing them. I'm joking. In my area, all the police departments are going back to Glock. Have a few friends in the departments. Oh, I got you. Instagram content. Ranger says the Super got a demo from SIG. He said it went good. That's him supplying the force. He let me have one, and I drop tested it with him. It did pass, so I hope all will be good. Okay. Instagram content. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't say. I mean, just say what we were talking about. Are you talking about people going to Instagram or something? I can't remember what we talked about on Instagram because I haven't done Instagram in 3 or 4 years now. I dumped them a long time ago because they're turds. And they were always hating on me, so. I don't remember. Damn, it's raining. We need the rain. Well, that was good while it lasted. I even got an extra half a shot. I like that bourbon, man, or that whiskey. It's good. And it's cheap, but it tastes really good. It's Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. For that big old bottle, it's only like 27 bucks. It's really good. Dexter saying, any luck with your plumbing issues, Big J? I've had another guy out here. He looked at it. It was cheaper. But he's got to, do the camera himself. So I've been calling around, and he let me know his price for the camera. I've called like 3 or 4 places about the camera and their pricing. So I'm just kind of building a list, and then I'm just going to have 2 or 3 more companies come out and do it or assess it and let me know what their pricing is. But one guy was like, oh yeah, we'll beat their price, you just have to show us the estimate. And I'm like, what? I'm going to show you the estimate? Naturally you're going to beat it by even a couple $100. I'm like, shut the frick up. Arjun said I was trolling. I meant you need all that stuff for Instagram posts. Yeah, I don't do Instagram. They piss me off and I'm not going back. I think it's the Indiana State Police, not the local jurisdiction. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. He was not aware of the problems before he did the contract, he said he will pick ones from time to time for me to drop test and inspect. I gotcha. Right, Pop Doctor, just the state police. Yeah. Either way, man. And I guarantee you, SIG gave those things probably for a smoking deal, just to say, we've got Indiana troopers, blah, 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 sporting our shit. And I don't know if y'all have seen it. Did y'all see the SIG fuse? It's like got the comp and all that 22 round mags. I'm like, all it is a thin P320. So, in my opinion, I think they're literally phasing out the P320s and they're going to start pushing these fuse, 365 fuse. That's my opinion. Dexter says, yeah, going through some similar hell here. We just had a lot hot water heater crap out. Damn. The septic had to be pumped, and now leach field might be shut too. Oh shit. Yeah, and honestly, I keep waiting for my hot water heater. I'm just like, man, it's got so much calcium buildup. I know it does. I haven't flushed it like every year like I should have. So, knock on wood, it's starting to knock a little bit. You can hear it knock, 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 and I'm like, it's not good. So, but we have a warranty on it, so whatever. Yeah, exactly, Arsman. I think the 320 is phasing itself out. I think they're going to try to move in that fuse to take its place. Silently, they'll dump the 320, which they should. They're going to change the name to push the product out. They already did. Didn't they change it to just the M18 or the M17? It didn't even say 320 on it anymore, but it's the same turd. Again, putting lipstick or removing lipstick from a turd. I don't know. Well, y'all know how I feel about SIG. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I'm not a SIG fan. Because they hate me and I hate them. But if you have them, that's cool. But they do not like me. Matter of fact, the guy was like, oh, give me your serial number, and I registered them. And this was way back. It was my last issue. And he said, oh, give me your serial number. So I gave it to him, and he pulled it up, and he's like, oh, you're Johnson? Read it off, my name and address and everything. And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, oh, what can I do for you? And I could tell his tone just changed. So I'm sure SIG has a big old flag or something on my file. Because, yeah, he was really, really nice. And then we got Manfo. That changed. That whole attitude went to shit. So he's probably like, whoop. So I know I'm flagged with them, but I don't give a shit. Arms says that 226X Legion, on the other hand, yeah. I mean, if you're getting into the Legion guns and the metal guns, SIG's always been really good. And of course, the German versions are the best, but they're few and far between to find now. Matter of fact, when I was at Impact Machine the last time, they had an original German 226 that they were customizing, and I was like, that's a pretty cool gun. I mean, it was like made in Germany, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of the old OGs. I'm like, that is cool. They were doing trigger and optic cut and all kinds of stuff on it, and I'm like, that's a cool gun. But it was the German version. Raider says, so far I like the Taurus G3C, but sometimes it doesn't like to chamber around. That's not the first time I've heard of that with the Taurus. I would definitely get with them. As long as you're using, not remanufactured ammo. If it's doing that exact same thing on box ammo, like factory ammo, I would definitely get with them and get that fixed. Bad Karma says, evening, sir. How are you? The X5 is a 320 platform. Yep. I don't believe there's any problems with it. I think it's just the regular 320 and the M18. I had problems with my X5, the original, not the X5 Legion, but the original X5. I had problems with it. I've got videos. I could sit there and rack it, and it would freaking stick out of battery. And that gun had 1,000 rounds on it, only 1,000 rounds, and SIG would not warranty it because it was me. That's the one where and then he's like, oh, you don't have the, what bullshit did he tell me? You don't have the, because I sent him pictures and everything, and he gets like, oh, rotate the guide rod spring 180 degrees. I did it even on video. I showed it. I rotated 180 degrees. Still stuck out of battery. Sent him a video, and I'm like, yeah, I did that. It's not a me problem. It's a fucking you problem. I was pissed, and yeah, they still wouldn't warranty it. And what I did is I changed the guide rod spring in it. Once I changed that to a different spring, it worked perfectly, and then I sold it. And the bad thing is I invested in having it all customized. I had tequila sunrise orange, the whole frame. I had custom stippling done to it. You know, it already had a dot on it. So I got pictures, and I think y'all probably saw those. And when you saw it in the video, I had spent a bunch of money on that gun, and literally when I put a guide rod spring in it, after I knew that it was working correctly, I could rack it and it was working. It was going, not staying out of battery. I sold it instantly. What is up, Lynn Holt? How are you, buddy? Yeah, Winchester white boxes. Oh, the brown box, yeah. Oh, 147 grain. Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Yeah, if that's factory ammo, I would definitely get with Taurus and just tell them, hey, here's the deal. And if you need to, shoot a little video of it doing it and send it to them along with it. And they'll probably send you a label, and they might need to throat it, and that might fix that problem. Or adjust the feed ramp, polish the feed ramp. If you have buildup on the feed ramp, that can cause it too. But you know, they might need to throat it out or change the barrel out. Arjun says, one thing that always bothers me with the SIG, they blame everyone and everything else before they decide to fix your firearm. Yep. Too many problems I had with them. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, and I'm not trying to bash SIG, but man, I used to buy a bunch of their products. I spent a bunch of money with them, and all I wanted was normal customer service. They fixed my 45 twice. They fixed another 45 once. My 320, and then the X5. So that's too many. But I shot them. I used them. I didn't just leave them in a drawer. So, but yeah, I know there's a big old red flag for me. Yeah, what Big Prentick says, yeah, what Big J said, heard Taurus got better with customer service. Yeah. I dealt with their old customer service when they were in Brazil. Whew. Back with the metal guns, Taurus was a freaking train wreck. They had one of my guns for like 6 months. The old Beretta 92 knockoff. Yeah. But I've heard they're a lot better now since they're dominantly in the U.S. Back then they were in Brazil. This was way, 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 way back when. Way before I was even doing YouTube, I had two Taurus. One was a 40 caliber and one was a 9mm, and both of those 92 clones had to go back. And one was 6 months, and the other one was like 3 months, something like that. P93, maybe that's what it was. They were both, one was black and one was the chrome. I don't remember. I think the 40 caliber was black and the 9mm was chrome. I got them for really good prices, so I thought, oh, there's a deal. You know, it's like, no, my real Beretta never did that. Armsman says, I still have a couple of the P250s. I know I'm the minority, but I enjoy the crap out of them. Yeah, the trigger was not good, but, you know, it's a double action gun, so. And it was all changed with that's their 320. They kept all the same parts. They repurposed that shit, didn't they? They made a Ford fit a Chevy. I'm just joking, but whatever. Man, we're definitely getting some rain. I did not know that was gonna happen. Well, I'm glad I got shit done today. I had to haul some parts over to a guy this morning, a shop, and I gave him some parts. So I'm glad I did that today and not tomorrow, because maybe it's going to rain tomorrow too, because those boxes would have definitely got wet. Ranger says the new GT or GX4 just has a weird takedown. There's like a screw that you turn with a screwdriver, take the slide off. Yeah, but what if you're out in the field and you don't have a screwdriver? Can you use a 9mm casing? Do you know, Ranger? I don't remember if you can or not. Or is it you have to have their tool? Because, yeah, I don't like shit like that when you're in the field. Oh, and I don't know if y'all saw that O-Light video. A lot of people commented and they're like, holy crap, I can't believe you checked that O-Light out. I had a lot of people asking about it. O-Light's been beating me up, so I checked it. The first one they sent me was absolutely a prototype. I believe them. Second one passed with flying colors if you haven't seen the video. I still don't like that you can't change the battery in it personally. You have to plug it in, and I don't know of any electric trees around if you happen to be out in the outdoors or at a night match or whatever. I guess you could go to your truck and do it, but you know, it seems to be a pretty decent light. You know, I kind of like some of the features on it. It passed the test I put it through. You know, not done with it. Armsman's going to make a holster for it. I'm going to test it, and you know, we'll keep kind of checking it out. What is up, Floridian? How are you, buddy? Where are you in the part of the world this week? Easy fix, just buy two. Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's what I said in the video. I'm like, guess you have to buy a backup. Oh, Chicago. Whoo. Man, good luck. I travel there sometimes and I'm just like, Now, the outskirts, I actually like the outskirts of Chicago. I mean, it's nice and everything. I'm talking about the nicer area. But that downtown area, it's not what it used to be. I mean, they have some great restaurants, but not what it used to be. But it is 8:11. We'll start shutting it down here in a minute. If y'all have any questions, you know, please ask away. And of course, if you watch the replay, you can ask questions and I'll check them later. You know, to see what's going on with y'all and if there's anything, Naperville, yeah, West Suburbs, yeah, I know where that is. Where's the area? It's like, damn, I can't remember the name. I could look it up on my phone, but that's what I'm doing the live with. I can't remember the damn name of that town. I have a customer in one of the outskirts of Chicago, and I go see them quite a bit, or I've seen them quite a bit in the past. And then they're actually in a really nice area. And I do like their area. But man, going through that downtown from the airport, it's like, whoa, gotta be careful. And a lot of the Uber drivers and stuff, they're like, yeah, we're not going that way, we're going this way. Thank you, Pranic. I appreciate you, buddy. Glad you were on. And again, everybody go over and subscribe to Pop Doctor. Please go over and give him a sub. He's a new channel. He's gonna hit 1,000 subscribers. We want to help him do it. He puts out some cool videos. If y'all haven't seen his videos where he does the notebook, he breaks out his notebook and he goes through everything that he's got jotted down, and that's really cool. But he puts some little funny snippet videos in there of like Jim Carrey and stuff like that, and I find them very amusing and I really enjoy them. I think they're funny. So y'all go over there and check him out. And he may be a doctor, he might not be a doctor, I don't know. You know, that's what he always says, so I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, definitely check out Pop Doctor. Go over there and give him some love. Yeah, Arms says, yes, sir, love his format. Yeah, it's funny, man. I mean, he gives you the information, tells it like you said, and tell it like it is. Right, says, got to run Big J in chat. Good time as usual. Everyone stay safe and strapped. Yes, please do. Yeah, no, I think it's funny, Pop Doctor. We have the same kind of humor, I guess, you, me, and Armsman, because Armsman and I talk about you. We laugh about it. We like it. It's funny. So just stay with it, man. It works for you, so it's cool. Do something different, man. Don't be like everybody else. I know you're not, but that's what I'm saying. Some of these things are just like, you watch one video, you seem like you've watched them all, but then when you watch yours or some other people's, they're a little different. So that's not a bad thing to be different. And yeah, definitely YouTube has my number. I did get 3 videos removed. They didn't find them user friendly now. They were old ones. I know one of them was a Smith& Wesson, one of them was a VP9, and one of them was something else. But I got an email and it said, "Oh, we don't find these friendly," and I was like, "Whatever, I don't care. I'm tired of bending at the knees, so to say. So whatever they do, they do. You know. Now, if y'all don't see me on here one day, you know why. But anyway." But yeah, we'll go ahead and shut it down. It's 8:15. If y'all have any questions, comments, anything like that afterwards, please leave them. And also, we soon will be time to start cooking outside. Yes, I'm getting ready. Man, I've got stuff in the freezer. I need to break out and start doing some cooking because I'm definitely. And I got my new cutting board. I don't know if y'all saw it. Y'all can go in the post. I posted it up. Man, this thing is legit. This thing is freaking huge. I mean, it's like, I don't know how well y'all can see, but that damn thing's like that long, that wide, and it's like that thick. This thing is a beast. A buddy of mine made it for me. I helped him trick out his Shadow 2, and he brought it over. And that thing is legit. So that is going to be my new cutting board going forward, and I'm already got it oiled, already got it good to go. There's a process where you kind of season your cutting board to keep it in good working order and food grade chemical. But I'm really wanting to break that sucker in. So we'll do a brisket, some ribs. I've got not a packer, but I've got a smaller than packer. So I don't know, I think it's a half a packer. So we got a brisket out there. We got some picanha. We got some ribeyes. We got some fillets. I've got 2 racks of baby backs, not St. Louis, but they're baby backs. And I got a bunch of stuff I need to cook. So really excited about doing that. So we'll break those in and bust out the cutting board and the good knives and get those going. So all the employees in calorie viewing, right? Yeah, they are. Thank you, Redbird. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bad Karma. But yeah, and also, remember, if you haven't reached out to somebody in a while, haven't talked to them, please do. Just let them know you're thinking about them. Check on them, make sure they're good to go. And then we will do this again next Wednesday. I think not next Wednesday we'll do it, but the week after, I believe I'll still be able to do it because I think my show's on Tuesday, so I should be home Wednesday because I'm dropping the guys off at the airport. So should be good for that Wednesday too. But we will keep cranking these along. I'm gonna start cleaning out stuff, throwing it in the box, and we'll start giving away some stuff. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know, and we will do this next Wednesday. Thank y'all so much. Remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great night.